Dan Illman, Mike Beer taking a look at race number 2 at Saratoga on Thursday, part of the Belmont Stakes Festival. It's the $150,000 Tremont Stakes. These are 2-year-olds going 5.5 on the main track. Let's take a peek at this field. And the morning line favorite is a first-time starter, one of several first-time starters in this race. And usually you'd be like, wow, a first-time starter is a morning line favorite. And then you realize it's Wesley Ward and you think, maybe this horse can run a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like, that this horse is well meant on debut here, Dad. One thing about Wesley Ward, as good as he is with his first-time starters, especially 2-year-olds, he doesn't debut them in stakes races very often. So maybe that's a good sign, but this is a microcosm of this race is everything that is wrong with 2-year-old racing in this country these days. A stakes race for 2-year-olds, a field of 8, and 5 of them are first-time starters. Give me a break.
5 of them are first-time starters, but the number 1, Studley Do Right, is a second-time starter who looked good in his career debut, and he did it over a sloppy track, and there's a chance the track might be wet at Saratoga on Thursday. Studley Do Right is saving ground, and he's going to have to do it not only over a wet track, but he's going to squeeze through towards the inside, which is never easy for an experienced first-time starter. Good effort for Studley Do Right. It's not like this pace was very, very fast, and he runs away from them at the end.
Yeah, I like this debut a lot. He comes up the inside. It was a little tight there. I mean, it's not like he ever, got really stopped or anything, but it was a little tight for him. He came right on through. He won easily. What I like about it more than anything else, Dan, is when you look up Jerry Robb's numbers and formulator, he's not great with first-time starters. He's really good after a start, though. If this horse moves forward at all, I think he can be there.
I think this is just the right spot to take a shot in a stakes race in New York. As Mike mentions, 5 first-time starters in here, and Studley Do Right, basically only a Maryland-bred name only, right? He's by Nyquist out of a really strong family. The number 2 is Do. This is a first-time starter going out for Gary Contessa, who we know had a lot of success with first-time starters in stakes and graded stakes races at Saratoga last year. Do is by Frosted, who wins 14% with 2-year-old debut runners. The Dam's a half to a pretty fast horse, Mike. That's following C, who is a graded stakes winner. So maybe there's some speed on the bottom of this family.
Yeah, that's true. That following C was a pretty fast horse, a graded stakes winning sprinter, multiple grade 1 placed. He was a really nice horse for Pletcher. We'll see what this horse does, Dan. I don't know. You only have to go to race 4 on the card on Thursday to see what Contessa can sometimes do with first-time starters when you see Becky's Joker winning that grade 3 last year as a first-time starter. But overall, Contessa's numbers with 2-year-old first-time starters, they're not good.
The 3 is Dominican Thunder. This is a New York bred from the first crop of Improbable, a grade 1 stakes winning dirt router. The Dam was a grade 3 stakes winning router on the dirt. She's a half to a grade 3 placed dirt router, but she's also the 3rd Dam, though, was a 2-year-old graded stakes winner at Saratoga sprinting on the dirt. So there's some class in this pedigree, Mike, but I just want to take a wait and see approach.
Yeah, I kind of do too. It seems like a pedigree more slanted towards distance, but maybe this horse will be ready to go. This trainer is sort of relatively new to this circuit, Dan, and doesn't have a really strong overall record. First-time starters the last 5 years, 1 for 32, but the one win 2 weeks ago in New York, 20-1 shot for this owner, Castellano up.
Brereton's Baytown is the number 4. This one's by a good debut stallion. Upstart wins 17% with 2-year-old first-time starters. And the Dam's a half-sister to Chewing Gum, who is a graded stakes winning turf sprinter. So there's a little bit of speed here. Long string of workouts for Brereton's Baytown. I guess decent enough works that last half at Keeneland.
Yeah, the works do look okay. I really like the upstarts, especially with sort of younger horses. So that sort of caught my eye with this colt. The trainer doesn't have a really strong overall record. Another one, he's not great with 2-year-old first-time starters. 3 for 52 over the last 5 years, but 2 of the wins in 2024 already. So it feels like he's got some better 2-year-olds going this year.
3 Echoes is the number 5, and this filly was just so this colt was just so professional in his career debut. He broke fine, then he settled into the pocket, so he's taken dirt in his debut, and then he squeezes through a narrow hole on the inside. A lot of first-time starters wouldn't do it, but 3 Echoes did, and he earned a very respectable 73 buyer. And talk about trainers that do well second time out. Usually the rule of thumb with Steve Asmussen is his firsters are good, his second-time starters are better.
Yeah, and he's back quickly with this horse too, which maybe that's a good sign. I mean, 13 days since that debut, and Asmussen ships him right up here to run in a stakes race. Probably a good sign. Your points about his debut are well taken. Anybody can just go pull the replay and watch it. You're not going to see too many 2-year-olds, especially first-time starters, want to come through that hole. It's not like the rail was open for him, Dan. His rider put him in there, and this horse had to force his way through.
The 6 is Shoot the Nickel. This guy is a $50,000 yearling by one of the better debut stallions out there. Violence clicks at about 19% with 2-year-old first-time starters. Now, there's a lot of routability on the bottom of this pedigree. The Dam was a stakes winner going long. She's a half to a grade 3 winning turf router, as well as a horse named Cherry Wine, who I believe placed in the Preakness a couple of years ago. But Violence does add some speed over stamina in the pedigree. Quick workout going 5/8 for our buddy Chad Summers. Will be a price, a complete question mark.
The workouts do look pretty good, though. I'm with you. I love Violence as a debut sire, and this is a purchase for Gold Square. And Gold Square, they do like to win early. They have their 2-year-olds ready to go at first asking, so it's probably a good sign that they're debuting in this race.
The morning line favorite is the 7 Touchy. This is a son of Nyquist and a half to a juvenile grade 3 winning turf sprinter. And supposedly the word's out with Touchy. I believe his workout, the May 31st work, went in company with Ward's debut winner that's going to be the favorite or the second choice in the Astoria later on the card. So again, I expect this horse to take a lot of money, and I expect this horse to show some speed.
Yeah, exactly. There's not really much to add to that. You always expect these horses to be ready to go. Again, Ward, he does not debut his horses, whether they're really fast or not. He doesn't debut them in stakes races. So maybe that's a good sign. One thing that Ward does do well, though, Dan, his first-time starters, 2-year-old first-time starters sprinting on dirt in New York, it feels like they all win.
Classic, of course, was very, very good in his career debut down at Gulfstream Park. Let's watch the stretch run of this 4.5 furlong race, where Classic, of course, showed good early speed and then poured it on 3 overmatched rivals in the stretch. And I guess it's a good sign that the runner-up at least came back to earn a 63 Beyer speed figure when placing in a Gulfstream maiden special in his subsequent start. And Classic, of course, dusted that horse.
Yeah, exactly. I don't really know what to do with this horse in this race, though, Dan. It's one of those debuts that you just didn't really find out anything about this horse. He got loose on the lead. He never faced a challenge. He won for fun. They're going to come right up here, run him in a stakes race, and you get Irad up, which that's all well and good, Dan, but it just pulls money onto this horse. And I don't think I'd be willing to take any kind of a short price here.
Let's take a look at our top selections for the Tremont on Thursday. I think that the 5-3 Echoes is the horse to beat and the most likely winner off that professional debut. But I'm just going to take a guess with the 6, Shoot the Nickel, with the sire that wins a very high percentage of runners first time out in some solid work. So horse has got to be double digits.
Yeah, that horse has got to be a good price in here. I mean, I suspect that the Ward horse is going to have a lot of steam on him, and he'll probably take a lot of money in here, and I'm sure he'll run really well in this race. But I'm always going to take experience over first-time starters, and I really like the debut from 3 Echoes.
5713 for Mike, 6581 for me. We'll see if Touchy is the real deal in the Tremont on Thursday at Saratoga. Good luck.